All right, let's jump right in. For any founder, those first 500 days are just a complete whirlwind. It's high stakes, you're learning a million things at once. So what we've done is taken the 10 most common startup mistakes and turned them into a kind of roadmap for you, a guide to help you get through that super critical early stage without hitting the same traps that sink so many new companies.
So just pause for a second and think about this. You're pouring everything you've got, your heart, your time, your savings, into this new venture. You're absolutely convinced you've got the next big thing on your hands. But what if there's a huge, fatal flaw in your plan?
And that's the real kicker, isn't it? The most dangerous mistakes are the ones hiding in plain sight. It's usually not some big, dramatic explosion, but these quiet, subtle flaws that can sink the whole ship before it even leaves the harbor. But don't worry, that's exactly what we're here to do. We're going to shine a really bright light on them. I think a great way to picture these early days is to call it the founder's gauntlet. Seriously, it's not a starting line you just cross. It's a series of brutal challenges you have to survive, one after another. And how you get through this gauntlet? Well, that pretty much determines everything that comes next.
If you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this idea right here. Success isn't about being perfect right out of the gate. It's all about being adaptable. It's that willingness to see you've made a mistake, to actually learn from it, and, this is the important part, to course correct. That's what really matters.
Okay, so let's break this down. We're going to start at the very beginning with Part 1, Foundation Flaws. These are the kinds of mistakes you can make before you've even written a line of code or picked a company color. They go right to the core of your idea and whether it even has a place in the world.
And that brings us to it. The number one, the most common, and honestly, the most devastating mistake any founder can possibly make. This is the issue that kills more startups than pretty much anything else combined.
It sounds so simple, right? Almost obvious. But believe me, it happens all the time. Founders fall in love with their own brilliant idea. They get completely lost in perfecting features and tweaking this product that they love, but they never stop to ask the single most important question. Does anybody out there actually need this? A brilliant solution to a problem that doesn't exist is, well, it's completely worthless.
So how do you make sure you don't fall into that trap? Well, the antidote is really a three-part focus. First, you've got to have a laser focus on a very specific target market. Then you need to do obsessive, and I mean obsessive research. And most important of all, you have to be solving a real, genuine, nagging pain point that they actually have.
Okay, moving on to Part 2. So, let's say you've got it, a validated idea that solves a real problem. That's fantastic. But now comes the hard part. You have to actually build the thing and get it to people. And this is where a whole new category of what we call execution errors can completely trip you up. The first big hurdle in execution is the launch itself. Think of it like a tug-of-war. If you launch too early, a buggy, frustrating product is going to crush your brand before you even start. But if you wait too long trying to make it perfect, a competitor might swoop in and beat you to the punch. The trick is finding that sweet spot, your minimum viable product, the absolute simplest version that still delivers real value. That way, you can learn from real users instead of just guessing.
So, once people are actually using your product, the next set of mistakes is all about how you treat them. We can kind of bundle the mistakes of bad service and ignoring your users into this one simple, powerful idea. So many startups see customer service as just a cost. The smart ones, they see it as their most valuable R&D department. This little loop right here isn't just about damage control. It's the engine that drives your growth and makes your product better and better.
All right, we're on to our final section, Part 3, Growth Traps. So, you've dodged the foundation flaws, you've navigated the execution errors, your startup is alive. But now you have to scale, and this is where a whole new set of strategic mistakes can stop you dead in your tracks.
Oh, this is a classic trap. You have a great product, you've got some early signs of life, so your first instinct is to go raise money. But here's the thing. Pitching investors when you don't have real customer traction, it often just shines a spotlight on all your weaknesses.
So the smarter strategy is to flip that script completely. Forget the investors for a minute and chase customers. Go get customers, because a growing base of people who actually pay you money is the ultimate proof that you have a real business. And the beautiful thing about that proof is exactly what makes you irresistible to investors. Suddenly, they start chasing you.
This next growth trap is a dangerous fantasy that honestly, way too many founders believe in. You just can't assume that because you built something amazing, customers will magically find their way to your door.
Word of mouth is great, for sure, but it's a result, not a plan. You absolutely must have a deliberate, thought-out strategy for sales and marketing to get real traction.
And the final mistake we'll cover is really a mindset thing. It's trying to do it all by yourself. The entrepreneur's journey can feel incredibly lonely, but it really doesn't have to be. Just remember, whatever problem you're struggling with right now, I guarantee someone has already faced it and figured it out. Looking for mentors isn't a sign of weakness. It's one of the smartest things you can do. So after looking at all these potential pitfalls, from your basic idea to your growth plan, what's the one thing that connects them all? What is that ultimate mindset that a founder needs to not just survive, but actually thrive?
It all comes back to this one word, course correction. This isn't just a skill, it's the skill. It completely reframes every single mistake, not as a failure, but as a critical piece of data. It's the engine that lets you turn a product nobody wants into one they can't live without. It's how an idea that's going nowhere becomes a business that's ready to scale.
So there you have it. We've laid out the map of the most common traps. The path forward should be a lot clearer now, and the choice of what to do with that knowledge, well, that's up to you. So the only question left is the really exciting one. Now that you know what to avoid, what are you going to have the courage to build?